There we go. Now I have the audio on. So one of my cameras giving me some issues. Check out the color. Kind of retro, right? So we're going to do our best not to use this one as much as possible. And yeah, but today we are here at the Orlando Police Department. And since the start of Results 1, they have really opened the doors to us here at News 6. And what do I mean by that? An agency that preaches transparency must be transparent, right? And they have really stepped up with making themselves available since the start of Results 1. Anything and everything we've wanted to talk about, they have been there. So today is another recruitment story about targeting of recruitment for women. Ladies in law enforcement and everything that they go through. So we're going to be welcoming in their lieutenant, the commander of their public information office. So let's move the camera as we pull in here. And Lieutenant will jump on in. We're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Make sure everything's working. We're good to go. So this is Results 1.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we've got cameras all over the place. I've got the GoPro up. We're streaming at clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and the app. We just pushed it out a little while ago. We talked about on live TV that we're going to have you in the car.
Perfect.
And you're no stranger to me, of course.
No, I'm
but
not.
I run into you a lot.
You do.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure. I am Lieutenant Danielle Gately with the Orlando Police Department. Currently, I am the Public Information Office Commander, which is why I've been running into you often.
Yeah. So how long you been with OPD?
Actually, I'm coming up on 20 years. December 6th will be my 20-year anniversary with the police department.
All with OPD?
All with OPD, yes.
Were you a cop anywhere else?
Nope. I graduated college and moved to Florida and became an Orlando police officer.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Massachusetts, just outside of Boston.
And did you come here to be a cop?
No, I came here for different reasons,
okay.
But I always wanted to be a cop. So, you know, if you think about being a cop in Massachusetts or Florida, really, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I would probably side with that.
Yeah, so everything worked out. I got down here, got an interview, and got hired pretty quickly. So it was
That's
awesome.
really cool. So
yeah.
When you're thinking of a law enforcement agency here in Central Florida, we've got a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
Whether big, small, full service, non-full service, targeted, we have it all. We have it all. Why, even then, like now I can say, I know 100% why someone would come to OPD, but 20 years, rewind, it was a different time in law enforcement.
Absolutely.
A different time, not just in policing, but for ladies in law enforcement, for minorities in law enforcement, kind of different world.
Yes.
Why?
So for me, I mean...
Where was the spark?
The spark for me was OPD was known as the best law enforcement agency, you know, in Central Florida. So for me, I wanted to be able to go somewhere where I could do everything.
Okay.
And OPD has everything, you know, and my career over the last 20 years, I have gotten to do things that I never thought I would be able to do.
What would say, if one thing sticks out to you? Being a PIO, I'm biased because I was a PIO.
Yes.
So, one thing sticks out, coolest thing that you've ever done. Cool, not scary, not coolest thing that you'd say.
I've had so many cool things, so it's really hard to narrow
rattle
it down.
off a few.
So, I mean, for me, being a young officer in the drug unit was really cool. It was fun. I got to do a lot of great cases there, work with some awesome people. And then I would say this PIO, as you know, it's very stressful, but it's been eye-opening. I've seen a totally different side of law enforcement being in the PIO office for the past year. So really, that is probably going to end up being one of the highlights of my career as well.
So when people think public information officer, they think just the person who goes to the scene. But as the commander and as diverse as OPD is, talk a little bit about your roles, your responsibilities. You're a lieutenant, so you have people underneath you.
Yeah, I have 2 people that work for me. But I mean, our roles, we laugh every day because it is so vast, the things that we do. I mean, before I came to the office, I knew they did a lot of things, but I didn't know the depth of what they were involved in.
Right.
You know, even just the emails that we get, records requests, just, you know, requests for interviews. We're like the coordinators for the entire public relations for the Orlando Police Department. And then on top of that, we're, you know, having a Facebook page, an Instagram page, a Twitter page, and trying to make sure we're up to speed with everything as far as social media goes too. So it really is, our hands are in a lot of different things in the PIO office.
And then
it's very busy.
Being that, and then of course, Chief probably just calls you every now and then, be like, "Hey, I need this."
Yes, I
it's
do
like, wait,
get
don't
phone
you
calls
have your
from the
own
chief.
staff? Like, hello, but they know that they can rely
Yes.
on the PIO office.
Yes, yeah, and we, you know, we're the department's way of getting information out now, and it's a big job, but we do a great job, I think. So I'm very proud of us, and we've come a long way. But it's exciting every day. Every day's different.
In your time, you said you were part of the drug unit, you PIO. What other kind of units have you been a part of specifically?
Yeah, sure. And that's, I think, one of the highlights why I love OPD so much is I started as an officer on midnights, like everybody does.
Okay.
I did about 4 years on midnights. From there, I went to the drug unit and did undercover drugs. I did uniform drugs. So I got a lot of experience, you know, with investigations there. From there, I moved to our criminal investigations division, and I, you know, started as a property detective and did that for about a year. And then I was able to become an assault and battery detective. So I was doing, you know, shootings and domestic violence cases.
I like how you're saying that. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but it's
sure.
like people think, and being a cop in news, it's interesting because I hear people say things and I'm like, you're a little confused. So when you say property detective, sex detective, sex crimes, or drug stuff, and it's like people put detective in this general world when in actuality there is a complete different universe for detectives.
Oh, yes.
You can specialize in so many different things and still be a detective.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah.
I
you know,
think that's
robbery.
really cool.
We have special victims unit now, homicide. Yeah, and then you have the whole drug side. We have gang detectives now, drug detectives.
It's crazy.
We have
Cyber crimes.
Yeah,
and all
there's
that
a
stuff.
lot of different ways you can, you know, just be a detective.
Wow. So when you got on, were recruitment classes similar in size?
Oh, not at all. When I came on, there was 5 of us. We had just come off a hiring freeze. There had been a big hiring freeze. In my class there was 5.
5
Myself
people
and 4
total.
others.
And were you the only lady?
No, actually, there was 3. 3 of the
Heck
5
yeah,
were
all
women
right.
back then. So yes, it was awesome.
All right. Making me think a little. I was like, okay, she's gonna be like, yeah, there was -1. I was barely in that class.
Yeah,
kind of
no,
thing.
actually there was 3. The whole academy class, though, I mean, I think there was maybe 7 women out of probably 35 or 40.
Okay.
But yeah, we had 3 OPD recruits that were females when I started. So
Love it.
Yeah.
So you're in the car because you guys have what I like to call, I've kind of labeled it targeted recruitment. You guys really have figured that out, in my book, my opinion. I think you guys have the ability to, what I've seen over the past few years, go into a neighborhood, explain what you guys are doing, and then suddenly that community is now represented within the department.
Yeah.
Whether it's our Asian community, our African American community, you guys, the diversity is huge, but there's still a push to hire more women.
right.
And you guys, I think, are sitting, last time I checked, around 15 or 16%.
Yeah, we're at 15%. The national average is 12%.
Right,
So we're a
which-
little bit above.
But I know, talking with you guys, hearing Chief Smith's goals, you guys want more.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the recruitment efforts that you guys are doing. Not necessarily tomorrow's event, which we'll get to,
Yeah.
but how are you guys explaining to ladies, to women, that, hey, look, if you're thinking about this, this is a real deal career.
Yeah. So, you know, Chief Smith took over a year ago, and in his change of command speech, he did, make it known that we were joining, the Orlando Police Department was joining the 30 by 30 initiative, which that's like a national program trying to get women's recruitment numbers up. The ultimate goal of the 30 by 30 is to have 30% of law enforcement recruit classes be female recruits by the year 2030.
Okay.
So that's the long-term goal.
So when you say recruit classes, that means people who have already passed and the hiring class that you guys are ready to put on the road.
No, people
Or
that
is
are
it
going to the academy.
Okay,
Yep.
so that breaks it down even better.
Yes.
Because it's not just, look, it's not 30% of an agency.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
people who are going to receive their law enforcement certification.
People who are trying to become police in the police
Got it,
academies.
got it.
Yes, we wanted 30% of those to be women.
Okay, and that's good because it spreads it out to other
Yes.
agencies, not just one
Yes.
kind of thing. Okay.
Yep. So that's a national initiative that we joined. And basically what that is you look at things like your training programs, your policies, just to make sure you are, being inclusive of everybody and the things are fair across the board for women.
Okay.
So we're doing things like that. But yeah, I mean, and Chief Smith, he knows he wants a police department that is diverse because the community we serve is diverse. So women make up a large part of our community. So we do want to have women officers out there, responding to calls that are going to have, women involved.
When
So
you came on, who was the police chief?
when I came on, the police chief was Michael McCoy.
McCoy. I did a ride along with his son
Oh, really?
when he was chief at the time.
Okay.
I think I was 16 years old
Wow.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what got my bug
Yeah.
kind of for law enforcement a little bit. So since then, command-wise, we've had, I'm only aware, Chief Val Demings.
Yes.
Has there been any other female chiefs at the department?
No, not.
She has been the only
Yeah,
one so far.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And command-wise, we've seen a few deputy chiefs.
Yes. Yeah, we've had female deputy chiefs, we've got captains, lieutenants, sergeants. So that's another thing that I'm a little proud of OPD for is the national average for women in leadership roles in police departments is 3%. OPD right now, we are at a 19%
Holy
for
cow.
women in leadership roles. So we do a great job.
So break that down in numbers, though, if you could.
Sure.
How big is OPD sworn?
OPD sworn, I think we have just over 800.
Okay, and you're talking, you said 19%?
19% of the leadership roles. So that would be sergeant and above. So sergeant, lieutenant, captain, deputy chief, and obviously chief.
Right.
All of those positions, 19% of those are made up of
That's
women.
impressive.
It's very impressive. I think it's great.
I think that's something to be proud of.
Yes.
So you guys now are putting on a specific event, a recruiting event.
Yes.
Okay, so you go out to schools, you go out to job fairs. What is this? How is this different, and what is this tomorrow?
So tomorrow night is our women's recruitment event that we're really excited about. It's going to be only for women. It's going to be run by all women. It's going to be, the women are coming. It's basically going to be set up. It starts at 5 o'clock. We actually have had an overwhelming response for this, which makes me really excited.
Okay.
I was the recruiting sergeant, probably 10 years ago now, and we tried to do a women's recruiting event like this, like a women's forum, and we did good. It was good, but we probably had maybe 25 people show up, so we started pumping this out on social media maybe a month ago, and it took off. I mean, right away we had probably, I think last I checked, we have over 75 women that were interested in coming tomorrow.
That have pre-notified
That
you.
have
That may not
RSV,
just show.
They may not show up, but they have RSVP'd saying they
Wow.
want to come, which is amazing. I
And you
think
don't
that's
have to
great.
RSVP, right?
We prefer you would because we're going to have food
Okay.
and drinks, so we kind of wanted to get a baseline number
Got it.
of how many
That's a lot of people.
we're going to have. Yes. So it's going to be at our gun range,
Watch out, buddy.
a great training facility that we have, and we're planning to have, there's going to be a panel of women,
Okay.
OPD. There's going to be a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain, a deputy chief, and we're going to have other women there too. We have a K-9 officer that's a woman, detectives. We're going to try to get, somebody from every aspect of OPD there to, tell their story, tell things that they've been able to do.
Almost sounds like a ladies' town hall.
Yeah, exactly, and kind of keep it, laid back to where people are going to feel comfortable to ask questions. But the panel will give, little presentations on, their OPD story, and then after that, allow the women that attend to kind of break off and ask, any questions that they have of anybody that's there. And we're also going to give people the opportunity to try our simulator. Have you seen our
I have
simulator?
seen this simulator.
Yes.
State of the art.
Yes.
Absolutely. Your gun range is also pretty amazing.
It
Similar
is.
to the city of Kissimmee, I think did a pretty good copy.
Okay,
of-
I've never seen
of
theirs,
it.
but yeah.
Indoors, they have the same kind of demo: lights on, lights off, police lights, riot sounds, heavy
Okay,
music, and
yeah.
stuff like that to create the distraction. So when I saw theirs, I was like, "Wait, this reminds me of OPD." Their range master is retired from you guys.
Yes.
So he looked at
Yes.
me. He's like, Yeah, there's a reason for that. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's great because, hey, flattery is the best form of a compliment.
Absolutely, I agree.
Especially if you're doing it right. So
Yes.
if you guys are putting these events on, everyone is always like, oh, man, it's hard to find a job right now.
Right.
You guys are hiring.
Oh, we're hiring. We're always hiring.
So there is no cap for you guys.
There is no cap right now. Actually,
That's
within
unheard
this
of.
next year, we're hoping to add about 100 more sworn positions. We're going to be expanding. I mean, the city is growing, and we need to keep up. So
100 in a year.
yes.
Okay.
Almost 100. I think it's just.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So that's what we tell people. We are always hiring. We will never close.
My
our
cop mind
posting.
is like because that
Yeah.
logistically there's a few things. You've got to have the department on board, but the city is obviously supporting that.
Yes.
If
yeah.
because the funds need to be
we're-
there,
We're growing. So
they got to expand out.
yeah.
Whoa.
If people are interested, we will always be hiring.
So if there is someone watching right now,
Mm-hmm.
if there is a woman sitting here right now going, man, I think I want to check this out. What are some of the precursors that they should start going through their mind? Hey, do I qualify?
Right.
Would they be interested in me, kind of thing?
Right. I mean, so they obviously can go to our website. That's probably the first stop to see what the minimum requirements would be. But also, we have recruiters. We just picked up another female officer recruiter. So we have 2 women in our
Okay.
recruiting office that would love to talk to you. So I think that is the first step is pick up the phone, either call them or email them, and they'll talk to you and they'll explain the whole process and, answer any questions that you have. Any little negatives that are in your brain thinking maybe I couldn't do this. Any woman officer would love to talk to other females.
What is the most common misconception? And let's candidly, I am not a sugarcoating guy. What if there's someone out? What's kind of the questions you get that you're just like, no, stop. This doesn't apply in this world. This is fake stuff that you're hearing.
I mean, candidly, I think the biggest thing is it's a man's job. Right? Don't people think that? But I will tell you, after a 20-year successful career, it is a female's job too. So, and we can do that. We just, we can do the job just as well. So don't let that stop you. Don't think I'm going into a male-dominated field and I don't know if I could do it, because one thing I can say for OPD is I've never felt anybody holding me down because I'm a female.
Wow,
I've been able to do things that all the men have been able to do too.
If not better, maybe
If not, sometimes a little bit better. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that if there are women out there that are thinking, oh man, I can't do a man's job, yes you can. And I think in today's culture, I think it's more, people realize more that it isn't just a man's job. But when I did start 20 years ago, people looked at it like, man, why do you, my mom or people would be like, why do you want to do that? And I'm like, I want to be a cop, and I'm gonna do it, so.
Did you go through a lot of self-awareness when you first got on? Like, wow, I understand what some of these guys are going to put me through, and I'm gonna prove to myself that I can do this, not to them.
That's what I tell people the most is like, did you feel pressure? Any pressure that I ever felt is I put it really on myself. I mean, every job I did, I always felt like I had to prove myself and, show that I could do the job. So I always was in the gym, staying physically fit, lifting weights, trying to be strong, just so that, when I showed up on scene, people would be like, oh, that cop is going to handle business, So that was always more internal pressure that I did put on myself. But it was good because it pushed me and it got me to where I am today.
We have a few mutual friends, and when I had posted today about the interview, and they were all like, bro, don't mess with her. I was like, I know, she holds her own. I'm not trying nothing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my law enforcement career, I had nothing but female supervisors in the highway patrol.
Really?
Yes. So, of course, they say you learn how to be a supervisor and how not to be a supervisor from some people.
Yes.
But I had all women command.
That was crazy.
Wow. Yes.
So they're doing good with their numbers too then.
they did well because when I left, I'm sure you know Lieutenant Kim Montez.
Yes. Yeah.
She shaped me, and I would not be where I was if it wasn't for her.
Right.
And she was so focused on, proving to herself that, what? I'm going to meet the standards of the job, not the standards of a man, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've talked to her before, and I asked her in the beginning of your career, she did almost 30 years with the highway patrol, which is, some would say, is a little different world, kind of unnecessarily stern sometimes. And she said, I just knew that there was a trooper standard, and as long as I met that, I didn't hear the rest of the noise. And I was like, man, this is why I like you so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's awesome advice.
Right.
And
So what are the benefits right now for a new hire getting on?
So I mean, our benefits are, if you come on as a brand new hire, you're not pre-service.
Okay.
You go to the academy. We're paying you to go to the academy. Yeah, I mean, you get all your equipment. Everything. I mean, it's...
When do you get... I like to ask the questions that they don't usually answer on, like, line, because it's the fun stuff. When do you get your car?
The police car you get when you finish FTO. So you do
Meaning?
the training. I know, right?
Right.
FTO is our field training unit. So
Right.
you go through our field training program, which is about 6 months on average.
Okay.
And if you successfully complete field training, then you would be made a solo officer. You get assigned to a patrol squad, and you would get the take-home
So
vehicle.
you don't get it during your recruit time.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So that's something different.
Yep.
I was used to, as a trooper, you leave the academy with a car and...
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da!
No. Nope.
Now, there are some that ruin it right off the bat, so I can understand. You got to learn. You got
Yes.
to understand. You're driving a billboard.
Yes.
And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that.
Yes.
So, all right, when can you start working off-duty jobs?
That is a good question. I'm not exactly sure if that's changed, but it used to be, I think you used to have to be off probation, but I'm not sure. We would have to, I would have to look that
Would
up.
make sense for probationary.
But you definitely can't do it in training. I know that. You have to
sitting
be a
there on your
solo officer
bicycle-
first.
on your bicycle in your uniform working an
Right?
off-duty gig.
Right.
So tomorrow, as we make our way back to the station,
Yep.
tomorrow, where is this happening, the address, and kind of the general location of where
Sure.
it's at?
It's 100 Andes Avenue, or George DeSalvia Way. It's the same. It's our training center, our property and evidence center right out there. It's right off of the 408, right by the airport. The airport that you can see off of 408. So we're right
you get
down
in
there.
off of Lake Underhill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to be posting the flyer again one more time today.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go on our website, go on any of our social media, and you'll be able to find the flyer with all the details. And if you do want to come out, just click the link or email recruiting. Let us know you're still interested in coming. And we'll see you there.
So Chief's not invited.
Well, actually, he is. So the chief, we did invite the chief, and he's going to do an opening welcome remark. Yeah,
okay.
He will be the only male allowed there for his brief.
I was going to say that'd be really funny if you guys were like, "Listen, he's in charge, but he's not allowed."
Yeah,
for this event.
no, he is going to be there in the beginning to welcome everyone.
And how big? How many deputy chiefs do you guys currently have?
We have 4.
4. One of them, which is a female.
Yes.
And her name and her division currently.
So she is Deputy Chief Lavetta Quinn Henry, and they all just kind of got shuffled around. I think she's over the admin services.
So
now.
when it comes to deputy chiefs, since we've got like 2 or 3 minutes before we make our way back, deputy chiefs supervise divisions of an agency.
Yes.
So they each report back to the chief.
Yes.
And they don't, or they're not supposed to really step on each other. They operate their own worlds.
Yes.
And then together operate the department.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Just trying to break that down. And the admin department would be like what? Like,
oh geez, so that's all
just the administrative
world, but it's
reports,
it's big. Yes.
paper,
IT,
everything that's not on the road. Well, maybe some of it too. Because would you fall under that?
No, we kind of report directly to the chief.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, you'd have to look at the breakdown.
No, I
online.
get it because admin
very
is
different.
huge.
Yeah.
Admin is a huge kind of baby there. But obviously, then you've got probably the special operations side.
Yes.
You've got your SWAT, your motor guys,
Oh, yeah.
TAC. That is one thing I've been excited. You guys have definitely increased the TAC units.
Oh, it's great, and we're looking to increase it even more in the next year.
Well, I think it's the side of policing that not a lot of people like to see, but it's what works.
Yeah.
And I am a straight shooter. At the end of the day, if people are acting up, you have to act towards that. And I think you guys, especially with the rise in downtown.
Oh, yeah. And I think over the past year, with Chief Smith bringing tech back and the numbers that they're producing,
huge.
It does work.
It does.
And it's shown that it works.
I've talked to some people and they're like, you don't know what's a cop and what's not anymore in downtown. I go, what do you mean?
Right.
They go, some guy was acting a mess the other day. We called 2 seconds. They said there was a minivan and the guys were jumping out. And that even they've seen a lot of the people who would cause problems not hang out downtown anymore.
Right. And we have people that will say, oh, we didn't see any police in our neighborhood, but
they're
that's
there.
The point. We are still there. You're just not going to see us because we have all these units now that we're not trying to look like the police. Yeah.
I think that it's a good way. It's a multi-faceted approach.
Yeah.
So, Lieutenant, thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
So
Yeah,
much.
it was great.
If you guys want any information, of course, you could always head to the City of Orlando's website. They have plenty of recruiting information, all of it. But make sure, how I like to get mine from them, OPD's social media. They've got Twitter, X.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And you guys are not only posting pertinent information, you guys do a good mix. Graphics, like a little information about like tomorrow's thing, but you'll put out statements from the chief or little advisories for communities and stuff like that.
Yeah, we try to have a mix of everything.
Awesome. Works. Thank you,
well,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
I appreciate
Great to
you
see
guys.
you.
I'm going to turn the camera. I'm not going to drop you off right here. I'll pull in over there. I just want to get the cameras turned around so we can do our thing here. I'll shut everything down. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all. Drive safely and go visit OPD over at their website and tomorrow at 5. Only ladies. Bye, guys.
Thank you.